Welcome to the Parent Trap Podcast, where we give you culturally relevant parenting advice. I am your host, Laria, and I want to thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe and share our episodes with your other parent friends, and follow us on all social media at the Parent Trap Pod. Hello, parents. What's up? It's been a while. Welcome back to the Parent Trap Podcast, where we give you culturally relevant parenting advice. And y'all, it's been a minute because I feel like I've been drowning in parenting, okay? I have had to take a step back and help myself. I didn't have no encouraging words for y'all because I needed all the encouraging words for me. And yeah, so that's that. And, when I talk about some of the things that have been going on in parenting, y'all may think like they simple and little, but yeah, they was big to me, okay? Because I was not expecting some of the challenges I went through. But that leads us to this first episode of me being accountable because I went through because of my own selfishness, okay? So let's just get right into it. So I have a 13-year-old, and when he was younger, God gave me specific instructions for him. My child is a scientist. He's super innovative. He likes to build. He likes to explore. He likes to do nature wherever he can bring nature in the room, in the house, whatever. And when he was younger, the Lord told me to never hinder that. Never put limitations on him. Always allow him to explore. Always have a space for him. Always move in a home where he has a space to create, a space to be outdoors. Just cater to it. Cater to it. Don't get mad about things being damaged. Don't get upset about what he destroys in the process. Did y'all watch Dexter's Lab? Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs? Any of those shows where there's a kid scientist and they causing chaos and explosions, the Lord was like, I need you to be kind of like that. So anytime it came to him exploring and creating, I just allowed him to be. And I had a house to where he had the space to do so, whether it was like a space in the basement where he was comfortable and he can build and he can do whatever. And I just always kept my little pile and my little repairman's on deck. But he never really damaged anything really bad or nothing like that. It was just like maybe hot glue gun on my rug, little stuff like that. But just allowing him to explore, and part of that is who he is. It shaped him. That's like his therapy. That's his safe space. That is his peace to be able to create and build. To the point where even when he was in school, they knew, his teachers used to have him come fix stuff. I remember one time they told me it was a little space heater broke and Amadi fixed it. Could nobody get that thing working, but Amadi did it. I remember my friend, her daughter had a bike and they couldn't, her husband, her stepdad, her brother, nobody could figure out it was something wrong with this bike, with the handlebars or whatever. Amadi fixed it within 5 minutes. So this is his portion. So what about when we get tired? Yeah, God give us instructions for our kids. What about when we get tired? Tired of catering to it, tired of the chaos, tired of them running rapid, because that's what happened to your girl. We had moved and then shortly after moved back to the city we live in, Milwaukee. And I was like, you know what? I had to move back against my will. But I'm like, you know what? If I'm going to be here, I'm going to do something for me. I'm going to move where I want to move. I'm going to consider myself because, sometimes when you're considering your child, especially when it comes to their exploration, sometimes it could be discomfort for you. It can be discomfort for them to be digging holes in your backyard and building whatever it is they build in nature land. And you not to just have a cute patio and some nice grass and whatever else. It can be tiring and painful to let them have animals and explore. Let them have plants that are experimental, and it's like, okay, you ain't really that neat. You ain't really picking up this dirt when you potting your plants or when you doing certain things, and it's making a mess. So I was like, you know what? When I move in this new house, I want a cute, comfortable, rich auntie type vibe in my house. I want a cute space with a cute yard, and I'm gonna go for something that I want for a change. And y'all, I did it, and it wasn't like, it wasn't like, moving to something to where he could not do anything, but it was definitely living in a space where there were a lot of limitations on him. And through that, y'all, through me going after my comfort and through me making a decision to like limit him, and it's like I didn't close the door, I just put some barriers on it where you can't really have this, or you can't really make a lot of noise, or you got to be concerned with how you move around here, because it ain't as kid friendly. Well, it's kid friendly, but it's not exploring kid friendly. And y'all, that led to him being kind of depressed, and I didn't realize it immediately. But a child who has always had a space to explore, no matter if it's you being loud, you bumping, you building, you climbing, when you remove them from that and it's their comfort zone, it's not as easy on their mental. And that's what I realized slowly but surely. Him not having the space to just be a boy, be loud, to flip, to turn, to dance, to move, to do whatever it is he wanted to do, to go dig up a hole, to go climb a tree, to jump off the roof, like whatever it is he wanted to do. Like, it limited him. Like, I'm raising what they be calling him, like, you got a little Tarzan, you got a little Jungle Boy. And I didn't realize, I thought all the moving around and the situation we were going through was what was affecting him. But it definitely was him not having him having limitations on his exploration. And he started to never wanted to be home. Like, the boy ain't never liked school. He'd be like, I stay after school. He would be at school late, whatever else. On the weekend, he would just mope around, like be on the game, whatever else. And it was just not a good season for him. And I'm disappointed that I didn't catch on sooner. And I'm thinking like, oh, you're just becoming a teenager. Oh, all this moving around we just did from city to city just played a toll on you. But the whole time, it was his limiting exploration. So something minor had happened to where God was like, I need you to move. And I'm like, okay. And it wasn't just about the house. It was also about the neighborhood. He didn't like going outside. Outside is his life. Okay. That's his safe haven. He didn't like going outside because of the neighborhood we lived in. It just was, a lot of stolen cars in that area. It was a beautiful neighborhood, but it's just in the middle of the city. So a lot of exchanges will happen in that particular area. So he wouldn't go ride his bike because the way cars would drive, or stolen cars. And it just, it just wasn't a space for him. So being in a house that you got limitations on and not wanting to go outside because you don't feel free and safe, it was just all around bad. But a small situation happened to where it was like, okay. And God was like, I need you to move. And I'm like, move? And he's like, yes. And I'm like, why? And he was just like, I just need you to obey. This just isn't for you or him. Like, I need you to move. Y'all, I found the place in 3 days. When I say saw the place, submitted, got approved, 3 days. 3 days exact. That's unheard of. And it was closer to his school, safe space for him to be outside. And it's just been, a journey when it comes to looking for a house. But to do that in 3 days and like get approved, no limitations, and it like has everything that I need, everything that he needs. I'm not gonna say everything that I need. It had everything that he needs. Like, it was just like, okay, this is really a space for Amani. Like, he can do this here, he can do that, he can be outside, he can whatever. He can do this here. And it was all for him. And guys, like, a few months into us moving, I started to see a shift. Because he, got back into his normal mode, got back into being outside more, had a space where he can explore without worrying about breaking anything, without worrying about messing up anything. There's a space for him here. Like the whole thing just kind of taught me something. And it's like, I did not consider that me putting a small limitation was going to hinder him until I remembered what the Lord said. He said, don't put any limitations. And it's like, I didn't know that, but God knew. And it's important that we follow his instructions to the T. To the T. Don't add from, don't take to. He'd be like, don't eat it. Well, I'm going to take a small bite. Like my mother Eve. And I think it's important as parents that we pay attention to the little things. The little things, the small changes that don't really have to change. And consider them when it comes to our child's behavior. And granted, I definitely deserve to be happy. I definitely deserve to be at peace. But it's not hurting me. It's not killing me. It's not hindering me in any way to make decisions for him. I was honestly just tired. Like, dang, I've been doing, my whole adult life has been about everybody else. And I was like making it about me. But to see him in a healthy space, to see him happy more, to see him exploring, to see him jumping back into the capacity of science that he was diving into before. Yes, it's an adjustment because it's like, what is that I smell? What is that you're doing? Being in a space where he, wasn't doing those things for a while. It was peaceful for me, but damaging to him. And I didn't realize how much of the exploration that he needed and was doing shaped his identity, shaped his world, and brought joy to his life. So I want to say to you, what are you restricting your child of? Because culture says children should behave this way, children should function this way. And I get that we want our children to grow up as these prestigious, mannerable, super in order kids, and we feel like that's a reflection of us. But what about their purpose? What if their purpose is messy? What if their purpose is adventurous? What if their purpose doesn't fit the picture perfect idea that you have for your life? And are you willing to sacrifice for a long period of time for your child to develop how they need to develop at the capacity they need to develop, and as messy as it needs to get for them to develop? And yeah, I'm excited for this next space that we're in, just because he is stepping more into adulthood and allowing him to not be limited by society's version of what he should look like. I think it's going to help him to be a revolutionary for his generation, to where he's not going to conform, to where he's going to be bold about who he is, and where he's going to stand on his individuality. And I think that is the plan that God wanted for him. So God was very intentional about the instructions he gave me. So I'm sure he's intentional about the instructions he gave you. And if you don't have any instructions, you need to get my Parenting with Purpose prayer journal and start to seek God concerning your child's future. And the journal is about shaping your child's destiny. It has a prayer of surrenderance. It has, and the prayer of surrenderance is just for you to surrender your will. It has scriptures to help you navigate the different obstacles your child is going through. And then it has journal pages for you to write down revelation God gives you about your child, prayers and answered prayers. So any instruction he gives you about your child, just do it, no matter how small, no matter how simple you may think it is. Shifting those small things can really change your child's life. And it shook up my son's mental health. It shook up his natural freedom. And I'll never do it again. I will always make decisions for him over decisions for myself, to be sure that he is growing into the young man God wants him to be. So I take full accountability. And that struggle season I went through parenting was because of decisions I made that were focused on me and not focused on my family. And I do want to say this. That does not mean abandon yourself. That does not mean practice self-care. But there's a way where you can focus on your family without you taking away side either. And I say all that to say, like, I am still in a place of joy. I still find space and find time for me. And I don't allow my mind to continuously dwell on the sacrifice I'm making for him. I intentionally focus on the good things in this season, which is raising a child that is happy with their life, happy with their future, that adulthood doesn't have to be this long restoration process. And that's what I focus on to help me to move through this season where I'm living in a space that is completely centered around my child. And I love every minute of it because it is shaping him and growing him and developing him. All right, so that's all I have for y'all today. Thank you guys for listening in. This one is short and sweet. We have some great guests coming in the future, and keep rocking with us, keep listening, because we are going to talk a lot more about teens. If you have a parent, friend, a relative that has some teenagers and they are struggling, I hope this season helps you, because that is the area we will focus on the most. So send this episode to them and go ahead and subscribe and turn on notifications so you get the next few, because we're going to help you navigate some of these teenage years. Thank you for listening to The Parent Trap, and y'all have a good week.